Unemployment in Toronto is exploding at unbelievable growth, and we're also continuing seeing houses being set fire to that are under construction. So we'll get into that and more. So let's get into it and let's see what's going on. So Better Dwelling put out this amazing chart. They always do good with their charts. So Toronto unemployment climbed much faster than national rate. People moving to big cities for employment may want to consider regional differences. Seasonally adjusted unemployment climbed to 7.4% in February. That represents a 0.3 point increase from the month before and a whopping 1.7 point increase from last year. In contrast, Canada's national unemployment rate climbed 0.1 to 5.8% in February. And you can see that on this chart right here. It's at 5.8%. So what is going on? And one thing we must talk about, guys, and we must note when it comes to unemployment in Toronto is it's easy to say, wow, I don't care about Toronto. Luke, I don't really care. I don't live in Toronto. Why does everybody talk about Toronto? Well, the thing is, Toronto is the economic hub of Canada, whether people like it or not. So if that is failing miserably, then that is a sign to the rest of the country to take a step back and say, maybe the economy is not doing so well. And also remember that Toronto is the financial center for Canada, not the world. It's not a global financial center, but it is a financial center for Canada, and most of the finance that we know goes on in Canada is debt related. So anyway, that just gives you some kind of idea of what could possibly be going on and how this could ripple out across Canada. So I would just say this is not good news for the entire country. So every 4 workers Toronto added was met with 3 unemployed people. Toronto has seen its workforce boom with its population, and that's part of the issue. The region's labor force climbed 2.8%, 108,000 to 3.98 million people in February. Impressive growth. But keep in mind that the unemployment rate climbed over this period. Just how fast is unemployment rising to outpace this? Have a look, guys. This is shocking. So this chart goes all the way back to 2008, and you can see that unemployed people, you had about 308,000 back in 2008, 316,000 at the top in 2009, and right now we're at 294,000. So we're heading right up there, and look at the trend. It does not look like one of a good thing that's happening here. So not good at all. Toronto's unemployment is growing at a breakneck speed. Over the past year, the region saw unemployment rise 34%. Ouch, to 294,000 people in February. If the unemployment people were a city, it would rank as the 16th largest in Canada, just after Windsor, but ahead of Saskatoon. Heck, if just the 75k people unemployment grew by were a city, it would be Canada's 45th largest city, equivalent to Sarnia, or more people than Fort McMurray. Toronto's economy is one of the most prominent examples of Canada's economic issues. I would agree with that. A region with a fast-growing population is typically driven by a fast-growing economy. But we're seeing signs, where when it comes to debt of newcomers, for instance, obviously the quality of the people that you're taking into the country is obviously heading down. If all those people are just coming in getting into debt, that or the standard of living is just plummeting so fast that they can't keep up with it with their savings. So it's very interesting when you really think about it, but this is not a good thing. And obviously it's said here that it's hard to see that trend continuing of what's happening in Toronto with population growth. But a lot of reasons why people move to Toronto is ease of getting a job. So that could very much be the case, actually, because most people go to Toronto. Even I went to Toronto when I first arrived in Canada because it's just the easiest place to get a job as a new immigrant. So anyway, we continue here with Ontario. Ontario EI recipients surged by almost 1/3, the highest jump seen in any province. More than 300,000 full-time jobs in Ontario have disappeared since July, according to data from Statistics Canada. Just goes to show how fast jobs and jolts can disappear. So people in Ontario receiving EI, which provides temporary income support to unemployed workers, jumped by 34,000 in 2023, a whopping 32% increase, the highest of any province. More than 140,000 Ontarians were on EI benefits in December, according to Statistics Canada. Canada, compared with approximately 106,000 people a year before who were receiving income support. So that is a dramatic increase. So you can also see across Canada, EI recipients rose 14.8% in 2023. So again, the trend is not good. And we've dug into this because it was one of you guys, Ruben, that sent this and brought this to my attention, that when you really dig into the nuance of what's going on with unemployment, you find that the unemployment rate, there's a lot of seasonal adjustments and everything like that. We know that it's kind of unreliable, but this is more reliable because it shows the net gain in the amount of people that are being hit with unemployment, which is growing rapidly. So this is the result of higher unemployment over the course of 2023, said David McDonald, a senior economist with the Canadian Centre for Policy Alternatives. As a result, you see more people applying for and getting EI. So that is very, very interesting, guys. You have to, take a look at this chart and think about what's happening. And yeah, there is something going wrong. And then we've also got this continuing. You guys know I've covered this time and time again on this channel when it comes to the fires and people burning down their homes. Well, there's more that are happening all the time. So anyway, we're going to get into this quickly.
Nobody was hurt. It could have been a much different story here because this fire moved so quickly, driven by very high winds. And the key factor was timing. The neighbors in those homes behind me that burned, they had not yet gone to bed. Flames ripped through these homes just before midnight on Sunday and spread quickly after a fire.
It is crazy. So let's dig in and see what's going on. Richmond Hill Fire in Ontario says an investigation is underway after a blaze destroyed a large home under construction, right? The fire department said when crews arrived at the house was fully engulfed and was spreading to other nearby homes, floating debris, and also caused smaller spot fires. Incredibly dangerous. And it is hard to not say arson here, considering what is going on in the housing market. It's a little bit coincidental maybe that people are burning down homes that are under construction. I mean, maybe it's a legitimate fire, but we've seen so many at this point, and all of a sudden they start taking place when houses have gone down in value so much. I mean, I'm not sure why exactly they're burning down homes, but many of you have said in the prior videos we've done in the comments that during the 1990s in Canada, people were doing exactly the same thing. So maybe it's that same mentality. They were also doing it in Florida in 2008. So, this isn't a new thing. Whether actually they get paid out or not, I have no idea. I have no idea the implications. I think it's absolutely terrible. Obviously, this can put people's lives in danger, and it is extremely alarming that people may be going to that length in order to try and reconcile their finances because they made poor financial decisions, especially when you look at the type of homes. I mean, this is a large luxury home, probably worth millions of dollars. So, and it's gone up in flames, and they're doing a report into it. They're investigating it to see, but it says it's estimated to cost more than $12 million for what's going on here. But it's just, there's too many of these that keep happening. And this may be just a legitimate fire. It may be an electrical wiring fault. It's going to be very interesting to see the conclusions that come from most of these reports. But we've covered it before, showing that people are running away from the scene. I mean, it was caught in Mississauga in the developer home fires. I even showed the video of the guy just running off and legging it from the scene, like literally how he starts the fire and then runs off. That's a little bit suspicious, isn't it? And again, like I said, you only have to look at what's going on with home prices in the Toronto area and around the country in general to realize maybe people think this is a good way of getting out because they can't even qualify for the mortgage anymore. And they think, oh, well, the developer, they might let me off the hook if I'm just able to, get by with the insurance. And I'm not sure how it works, guys. Let me know in the comments, how does it work? Because when it's under construction and owned by a developer, developer, does that mean the developer has to claim on the insurance? Is it a home buyer? I mean, I probably would think that falls at the feet of the developer for insurance. So anyway, it's extremely alarming what people are willing to do, but the extremes that people will go to in order to save their finances, including resorting to crime, is just unbelievable. So anyway, guys, if you've enjoyed this video, you might like this video where we covered the burning homes before. Seriously, check that out because there's more stories like this one. If you're looking for a VPN, go to expressvpn.com/marketmania. That's to get around Trudeau's censorship laws. I will see you in the next one.